You may be seated. Good morning. This is a packed house, Mr. Harmon. Okay, good morning. My name is Andy Plunkett. I'm the principal here, and I'd like to welcome you to the ribbon cutting and dedication of this school, LHS Harmon High School. Today we are here for a celebration. We're actually here for we have several things to celebrate. We're here to celebrate the namesake of our school, Mr. Ben Harmon, in his 45 years of service and education, and the wonderful legacy that he left in Lewisville ISD. But students, we're also here to celebrate you. We're here to celebrate this wonderful building that you've been given. To get 2 years of your high school education in, and come to school every day in a beautiful building like this. Last week, a student and I were walking down the main hallway, and the student stopped me and said, Mr. Plunkett, we were looking up, they just put the crest up. He said, is this the nicest school in LISD? We both kind of looked up, and I said, I think so. I think it is. But even better, I told the class of 2015 that's seated in front of us, not only are they going to get 2 years in this brand new building, they're also going to get 2 years in Lewisville High School when it's completed next year. So they definitely have the best of both worlds. So students, give yourselves a round of applause. We have several distinguished guests here this morning, but before we introduce the guests, we're going to rise to the national anthem. So if everyone please stand. Today, we have the colors presented by the Lewisville High School ROTC. So cadets, could you please present the colors? Thank you. You may be seated. Okay. I'm going to now introduce our guest, and I think it's a who's who from Lewisville ISD for the last 30 years. I'm going to try not to leave anyone out, so bear with me. We're going to start with the man of the hour. I'd like to introduce Mr. Ben Harmon and his wonderful wife, Juanita Harmon. Up here on the stage to my right is Dr. Steve Waddell, our superintendent. We are fortunate to have 5 school board members here. We have our school board president, Ms. Pernell Gregg. Ms. Carol Kyer. Ms. Julie Fowley. Mr. Mike McDaniel. And proud Lewisville High School grad, Ms. Brenda Latham. Okay, I'd now like to introduce the Harmon family. If y'all please stand when I call your name. We're going to start, the Harmons have 3 children, 2 daughters and a son. Their oldest daughter is Linda, and her husband, Bill Embry. They have 2 sons, Grant and Grady. Grant has his wife, Jamie, and their 3 children, which are Mr. Harmon's great-grandchildren, Braden, Lily, and Ella. Y'all can stay standing. Next, we have their son, Mr. Mike Harmon, and his wife, Cassie. Son, Chase. Third, we have their daughter, Miss Mary Harmon. I also want to introduce Mr. Harmon's brother, R.C. Harmon, and his wife, Bee, who are here from Sherman. Thank you. You may be seated. Several LISD retired administrators here. I want to start by introducing Mr. Clayton Downing, Dr. Clayton Downing, who worked with Mr. Harmon for several years. Dr. Downing, you please stand. Several retired assistant superintendents and students and you went to their schools. We have Mr. Marshall Durham and his wife. Please stand. Mr. Doug Killow, please stand. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and ask, hold on, that's Dr. Killian. Dr. Killian, Dr. Mike Killian, please stand. Thank you. We also have Mr. Brant Buck and Mr. Greg Veal, please stand. At this time, can we get all other retired LISD administrators, teachers, or employees to please stand? I didn't see Dr. Crenshaw down there, Dr. Harry Crenshaw. Okay, at this time I'd like all current LISD administrators and employees to please stand. All current LISD administrators. Okay, and now I'd like to introduce the people who are responsible for the building. We have some representatives here from Poe Construction, an SHW architect firm. Please stand and remain standing. And clear in the back. We also have LISD new construction, maintenance, and technology. Please stand and wave. One person I'd like to recognize, where is Miss Maria Adamas? Miss Maria in the back. Maria, come forward, please. Maria is our head custodian, and she has been here day and night preparing for today. So thank you, Maria. Okay, one more quick announcement. Is Mr. Aaron Horakami here? Is Aaron here? Aaron is an Eagle Scout from from Flower Mound High School, who did his Eagle project here this summer, building the furniture in the library and setting up the library. So I wanted to recognize Aaron if he was here. Aaron, come forward, man. Just sit forward and see you. All right, thank you, Aaron. Aaron and his family and friends were here all summer. There were about 20 people a day working, and they did a wonderful job. We could not have done it without you. Thank you, Aaron. Last but not least, I want to do a personal announcement. I want to introduce my parents, my wife, and my son. Please stand. At this time, I'd like to turn the microphone over to Ms. Fernell Gregg.
Thank you, Mr. Plunkett. Good morning. I am so happy to be here. I could go on and on and on, but they gave me a script, so I'm going to stick with my script. Today, Lewisville ISD has the privilege to honor Mr. Ben Harmon with the dedication of this beautiful new facility that will carry his name and legacy for many generations of fighting farmers. From 1959 to 1997, with the exception of 1 year when he was called to active military duty, Ben Harmon spent 38 years in faithful service to the students and patrons of Lewisville ISD. During this time, he grew along with Lewisville as he saw the school district and community grow from a farming town to the city you see today. He served in official roles as a teacher, head coach, assistant principal, athletic director, assistant superintendent of curriculum, and assistant superintendent of student services. Unofficially, he served as a mentor, a cheerleader, father figure, and counselor, to name a few. Prior to his arrival in Lewisville, Ben coached and taught for 7 years at Atasca High School. When he retired from LISD, he had dedicated a total of 45 years to Texas public education. Ben served the community with the same dedication and commitment he offered students, faculty, and parents, and that was to be as honest and as fair as you can be. He served on numerous community committees as a consultant on the first student peer jury in the county, and as a board member of the Denton County Appraisal Board. Ben and his wife, Juanita, a former LISD teacher, raised their own 3 children, as well as the many students whose lives they touch, to dream of becoming a farmer, a Lewisville High School fighting farmer. In the words of their daughter, Mary Jane, my father always ingrained in his family that all Lewisville, young and old, stranger or friend, was part of our family, and everyone in our family had something to contribute which and was to be respected. Ben has said that Lewisville ISD has always succeeded because it used the past as support, placed the needs of students first, and looked to the future without fear or trepidation. Ben helped lay the foundation for growth with common sense and kept LISD unified and focused on academic excellence. Today, Ben continues his support of LISD as challenges are presented and achievements surpassed. He encourages stakeholders to support the needs of students and can be spotted at many district and community events. Each day, as faculty, staff, students, parents, and community members enter Lewisville High School, Ben E. Harmon, 9th and 10th grade center, I encourage you to think about Mr. Harmon's legacy, his dedication, fairness, honesty, loyalty, and compassion. I hope you'll remember his words of wisdom that he often used. What I want for Lewisville ISD is a caring concern for every individual, whatever their point of view. Please join me as I recognize and thank Mr. Ben Harmon for all that he means to LISD.
Thank you, Ms. Gregg, Mr. Plunkett, and Dr. Downey. Anytime you hand the superintendent a microphone, you know there can be trouble. But they too gave me a script, and I'll do my best to keep to it. I would like to say that for the students in this room, I'm glad you had a chance to be here. These great retired leaders who you've just been introduced to, and the other men and women who have worked here and who have retired, you need to know that all that you have, both this building and the world-class education you receive, all this stands on the shoulders of these people who have built this district up to what it is today. So I'm so glad that you've had a chance to see them stand and know who they are. And they all need to be remembered. And indeed, this building is, no question, the newest and the most beautiful building, students, in the district. And so you can take great pride in that, knowing that you get to walk these halls every day. And once again, thanks to all these people who made that possible. And before I make my remarks, I'm listening to your short biography, Mr. Harmon. You're probably one of the few people who claim to have been both a Wampus cat and a fighting farmer. Lewisville ISD is known for excellence in education, which is a reflection of its historically highly qualified team. There is no doubt that Mr. Ben Harmon is one of LISD's past leaders who deserves the honor for which we are gathered today. And although I did not have the pleasure of working alongside Mr. Harmon, I have learned much about him, his commitment to LISD, and I've had the great pleasure of visiting with him. He dropped by my office one afternoon, and we had a very nice visit there. And he's a wonderful man. He was a visionary in recognizing and meeting the needs of students, parents, staff, and community members alike. With a servant's heart, he provided dedicated, outstanding support and a sincere commitment to student success. In the words of one community member, he believed then, as he believes now, that while children are our hope for tomorrow, we as educators are their hope for today. In the best interest of our students, he has selflessly given his time and abilities. His integrity and wisdom have served as a beacon for many men and women that remember him with great admiration and respect. Even today, Mr. Harmon is sought after for his knowledge, compassion, and mentorship. Mr. Harmon's legacy of fairness, honesty, loyalty, and support still serves LISD. For these reasons and many more, Ben Harmon's name will adorn this Lewisville High School campus, and his portrait will be displayed in the library as a reminder of all who he was and is to LISD. Mr. Plunkett, would you please join me in unveiling the portrait?
Thank you very much for that generous introduction. My goodness. But first of all, before I say what I have to say, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in the planning and the preparation and so forth of this wonderful day today. In fact, all of you just join in applause for that work. I wrote down 2 or 3 words. One was excellent, first class, outstanding, and I still think that that's the description that I would give to it. Some of the notes, some of the things I have to say, I'd reduce to notes, and then my wonderful wife agreed to go on the computer and reduce it to type it for me, and she typed it, and sure enough, it said you have 337 words, and I thought, wait a minute. And now, Dr. Waddell, I'm a little concerned. When I say the 337th word, will the buzzer go off? Or will I was right off trap door, and I was falling. But I will stay rather close to my notes, because my notes say what I wanted to say, and I was afraid I would get off. You know, when you've done it for 45 years, you can be prone to get a random movement here and there. So I'm trying to stay. First of all, thank you, Ms. Gregg, for the wonderful introduction. Dr. Waddell, for your statements. My goodness, I'm impressed. I thought, well, I kept looking around to see if you had some other person you had in mind. But you know, quite often you only hear the positives about a person, and there's so many negatives about me, and we just no telling how many we can tell. I like to tell one, though, because you're freshmen, I would say this. That when Ben Harmon went out for football his freshman year, no doubt to be one of the outstanding freshman players, I didn't even get a uniform. When they got to me, they had run out. A few weeks later, they finally found one. The only thing, it was a size 42, and I was barely 28 in the waist. But I went ahead and wore that uniform proudly. As a starting 121-pound right end, I didn't catch very many passes. You know, when you're holding your pants with your left hand, reaching up with the right, it's slow business. But at any rate, it was a great time. Now I'll get a little serious when I honestly say, and it's hard for me to say this. How can a person express a thank you when it covers 45 years of public school life? It's impossible to recognize all of the names of the individuals who have been a part of any success I may have attained. I will not attempt to mention all of those persons, but surely you present know that you are one of those. it's very difficult for me not to, as the senior citizen, call the roll, and I can certainly do it here today. But I will not, because it's an endless number. Of course, I do want to thank my family, my wife, my children, my grandchildren, and my great-grandchildren, who have always been a support to my life. A special thank you to the members of the Lewisville Independent School District Board of Trustees for their decision in the school naming. And then thirdly, a special thank you to the ex-students and I call it the community of friends who deemed the school naming of importance. I accept the school name only when I realize it represents so much more than just my name. It represents the thousands of students, teachers, paraprofessionals, staff, administrators, custodians, with whom I had the great pleasure to serve. Before the starting of the school year, Mr. Plunkett took us on a tour of the new facility. Everything was beautiful, it really was, but something was missing, Mr. Plunkett. Now I know what was missing. It was you, the students. You are the lifeblood of this wonderful campus. You are the reason for the existence of the multi-million-dollar facility. So you are extremely special. Although my name may appear on the outside of the building, it is truly your school, and you are the first class of Harmon High School. Thanks to all of you for making this such a memorable occasion. Thank you.
Okay, you're in for a treat now. We can't have a celebration without a celebration song. Many of you know Mrs. Green. She's one of our teachers who's on extended maternity leave. She's coming back soon. She has sung for us in the past at many events. This past summer, I asked her if she'd sing the song today. And we talked about what song she was going to sing. She came up with the perfect song. She said, but Mr. Plunkett, I want to sing with the LHS choir and with some LHS students. So I went to Mr. DeCrow, our choir director at Lewisville High School, told him the song, and he said, you're not going to believe this. I have a student from Burma who is a Chin student who came after the political asylum in Burma, and he sang this song at a festival this past summer. Let's get them together and see if they can sing it. I'm now going to turn it over to Ms. Tania Green and Mr. Chi Long.
heard there was a secret chord, but David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do ya? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Your faith was tongue, but you need proof. You show her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew ya. She tied you to her kitchen chair, she broke your throne and she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah,
I've been here before. I've seen this room and
Beautiful. Okay, at this time I'd like to call our student council officers to the stage. I'd also like to introduce our two student council officers on the stage. Y'all please stand. Jameer and Jenna. Our student council officers would like to present something to Mr. Harmon. I'm going to turn it over to Jenna, and they're going to come get you, Mr. Harmon. This was donated by SHW Architects, so we'd like to thank them for that. And here is Jenna.
On behalf of the Student Council and student body here at Harmon, we would like to present this picture of Harmon to you to display in your home.
Okay, if the student council officers would stay, we're going to cut the ribbon. So we're going to stretch the ribbon across the stage. Jameer, will you get Mr. Harmon his scissors, please? Would the school board and Dr. Waddell please join us? Okay. Dr. Waddell, I don't know if it's me or you, but at this time, we would like to dedicate this school to Mr. Ben Harmon and cut the ribbon. Okay, the LHS school choir is now going to lead us in the LHS alma mater. Students, please rise. fight song, I'd like to invite all the guests to join us in the library for the reception. Teachers and students, you're going to wait here till we dismiss all the guests, and then the teachers will dismiss you. So we're going to start the fight song. The stage guests are going to go first, and then we'll just go row by row these first 3 rows. We'd like to thank everyone for coming. Students, thank you. Students, you look great. Great job. All right, we're ready, Dr. Courtney.